Good evening, and welcome to the Crown Hill Journey. I'm your guide on this journey. My name is Christina Apt, and I am your guide and also the author of the book Crown Hill, a novel of love, life, and the afterlife. I hope you had a good Sunday, day of rest. They're all days of rest, kind of to some extent, but hopefully a good day for you, no matter what you ended up doing. Tonight we go on to Chapter 8 in Book 3, and we join Meg. And the things we need to remember from last night, and I'm just waiting a minute to make sure. There we go. Okay, thank you for joining me so I know that I'm live. So the thing we need to review from last night in Chapter 7, there are a couple of things. The first thing is that Meg is getting comfortable in her home and in her community. She has her realtor for lunch, Catherine Winston, and Catherine knows everyone and everything. And so she shares a lot of information with Meg about the town and also about the house. She tells Meg about Mary and Owen Southwick and about their troubled marriage and also about the way Mary died. All news to Meg. She had never heard that before. So clearly she starts to take on information that she didn't anticipate. At the same time, we're made privy to a conversation between Mary and Crown Hill, in which Mary tells Crown Hill that she is sure that Meg has the ability to help her pass, and that she feels it's the first person since Rose, and that's 70 years earlier, that someone has the ability to help her pass, and she is determined to make that happen. Crown Hill cautions Mary to be careful, that she has been aggressively revealed herself to other people earlier in her history, and it has not turned out well. The people have been afraid and they have left. So Crown Hill has cautioned Mary to be careful. Mary hears that and she acknowledges it and she understands it, but she also tells Crown Hill that she is going to reach out to Meg and make sure she knows that Mary is in the house and that Meg can help her. The million-dollar question is how, and Crown Hill asks that question of Mary, and she tells the house that she will do it by invading Meg's dreams, by continuing to surround her with things like a rose scent, which is integral to Mary, was her roses and the way that roses wafted through the house on certain days, and also to do anything she can to make Mary physically aware that she is there. So, without any further ado, let's see what happens. Glass of wine, a little drink first. And glasses. Peggy, it's you and I tonight. Nice, cozy. Crown Hill, a novel of love, life, and the afterlife. Book 3, Meg. Chapter 8. Meg woke up feeling as if she were immersed in a fog. She knew where she was. She was aware of her surroundings. But she couldn't quite focus on the day, or for that matter, on what plans she might have for the day. Slowly, the hazy-headed woman rolled over to face her nightstand and the ever-looming Big Ben alarm clock. It was a relic, she knew, especially when compared to the fancy digital models that did everything but serve a hot cup of coffee. But the clock had been her mother's, and Meg treasured it for the many memories it inspired. Struggling to read the clock's luminescent dial, Meg rubbed her eyes and tried again. That can't be right, she thought to herself. There's no way it's 8:52 in the morning. I never sleep past 7 a.m. Untrusting, Meg made the effort to roll herself out of bed and shuffle to the bathroom, bequeathing a quick pat on Goldie's head in passing. A paltry tail thump let Meg know that her faithful companion was awake, but not overly excited about rising and shining either. A splash of water on her face and a brush of her teeth encouraged a bit of clarity within Meg's brain. The day was Sunday. She had nowhere to go, or anything that absolutely had to be done. It was a start. Heading back to bed, Meg again checked Big Ben's illuminated dial. It was now 9 o'clock. What in holy hell happened to me yesterday that I'm just waking up? Dropping down onto the edge of the mattress, the auburn-haired woman faced the age-old dilemma. To flop or not to flop? back under the beckoning covers. The decision was made for her as Goldie snuck her head under Meg's arm and gave her face a quick lick, her tail thumping a steady rhythm on her owner's back. "Okay, girl, I hear you. Come on, I'll let you out." Cruising on autopilot through the house, Meg released Goldie out the back door. While waiting for her return, Meg headed to the kitchen, plopped a tea bag into an oversized mug of water, and slipped it into the microwave. As her morning wake-up beverage brewed, Meg served up Goldie's kibble breakfast in her favorite red bowl. When the happy pet returned from her morning rounds, the two settled in the kitchen and savored their breakfasts. After a few sips of her Irish breakfast tea, Meg determined that her first order of the day should be simple. She needed some time to emerge from this brain-numbing stupor she was in. It had been a long week beginning a job and then hosting Catherine for lunch. But was she really getting so old that a few changes in her schedule could throw her that far off track? Taking a couple of deep breaths over the steaming mug, Meg felt the cobwebs of her mind slowly clearing. With their retreat came a memory of her conversation with Catherine about Mary and Owen Southwick. Meg's brain registered the fact that it was a pretty bizarre exchange of information, especially the details of Mary's gruesome death in the shed still standing and visible through her kitchen window. The mere thought of the tragedy spun Meg to the window, her body facing the antiquated building. "I wonder how it really happened," she pondered, replaying Catherine's words that a definitive cause of Mary's death had never been determined. According to Catherine, the known fact was that the town doctor had ruled Mary's passing a suicide. Yet from stories handed down through the generations, most townspeople of the day felt the physician's prognosis was influenced by his close friendship with Owen. Catherine added that local lore, shared publicly and privately throughout Eden, intimated that Mary was not the type to take her own life. But Owen was reprehensible enough to kill her. Imagining the scene inside the shed that long ago day entranced Meg. So which was it, Mary Southwick? Murder or suicide? The question was a simple one for Meg, more general curiosity than a burning need to know. Yet as quickly as she imagined the thought, an answer came directly into Meg's mind. I was always a happy woman by nature, yet anger and violence became a part of my life through my husband. It was his brutal nature that eventually caused my death. I tell you this because I know you understand such harrowing treatment. That is why I am grateful that you have come here and are with me now at Crown Hill. Goldie's wet nose nuzzling her hand startled Meg from her deep thoughts. The unexpected touch caused the daydreaming woman to shriek, equally startling the affectionate dog. Goldie jumped back from Meg and barked loudly in reply. "Oh, Goldie, sweet girl, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you, but you scared me as well. Come here and let me give you a big hug." The gentle dog returned to Meg's side and lingered as her owner indulged her. While soothing her favorite pet, Meg distractedly refocused on the voice that had just echoed through her head. Was she going crazy? Had Catherine's stories from yesterday skewed her mind toward unstable imaginings? Suddenly, in a revelation, Meg recalled the dream from her previous night's sleep. She was in the midst of a gathering of people in her home, some familiar, others total strangers. The event seemed somewhat like a party, as she recalled, but it also appeared like some kind of a review of her life. Meg was seated in an oversized chair by the fireplace in the living room, with guests approaching one at a time to share their thoughts and wisdoms. As Meg struggled through her subconscious, the details of the dream became fuzzy, with vague words connected to random people. Frustrated by the hazy scenario, Meg finally gave up trying to define her sleep-filled memories. Come on, Goldie, time to get dressed and figure out what part of our to-do list we should tackle today. Meg headed to the sink to rinse out her teacup just as the phone rang. Hello? Good morning, Meg, it's Catherine. How are you on this gorgeous summer day? For a moment, Meg thought about sharing details of her fuzzy mindset and the troublesome dream, but decided against it. I'm well, Catherine. You certainly sound bright and cheerful. Oh, I've been up for hours, actually. I have a client coming in from out of town. He's looking for a specific piece of property, and I'm doing quite a bit of research to find just the right place. But I called this morning to thank you again for yesterday's lovely brunch. The food was delicious, and your table was perfection. I could have stayed the entire summer on that wonderful wraparound porch of yours. I'm almost beginning to regret not buying Crown Hill myself. Meg was touched by Catherine's genuine sentiment and returned the same. It was my pleasure to have you as my first official guest. You made the occasion special and enjoyable. Thank you for your company, Catherine. We'll have to do it again soon. That sounds wonderful, Meg. I'll look forward to it. Oh, and I hope I didn't disturb you yesterday with that story about the Southwicks. Some people find that kind of information a bit eerie. Actually, I'm glad that you told me about them. I know that a house of this age is going to have a history, and I've always been intrigued by such things. I guess maybe the fact that I don't know much about my own family's background encourages my interest as well. Well, that certainly sounds like a conversation we need to share on another lovely Saturday afternoon. In the meantime, enjoy your beautiful home and good luck with your new job. Talk soon. Before she could reply, Catherine was gone, leaving Meg more disoriented than before picking up the phone. Whatever was lingering in her mind from last night's dream felt annoying. She needed to get to work, to do something physical. That would help clear her mind. It always did. Deciding to tackle her list of outdoor tasks, Meg threw on some jeans and an old t-shirt. Heading to the back porch, she grabbed her sneakers, tied them on, and headed out the door with Goldie in close pursuit. Pruning the recently blossomed rhododendrons seemed like a good place to start, thought Meg. The waxy green perennials covering the length of the wraparound porch were in need of a good cutback. Meg didn't have much in the way of garden tools. She had managed to slip a pair of hedge trimmers, a pointed shovel, a rake, and a bushel basket into her car the day she packed all her worldly possessions and drove away from Cal. The question was, where did she put all that stuff when she moved to Crown Hill? The barn, of course! Meg remembered that she had driven the car past the house and down to the barn to unload her meager tool assortment. As she approached the white two-story outbuilding with vented towers across its sharply angled roof, Meg's attention was distracted. Her motion literally halted. It was as if something was blocking her from going forward. She was definitely being directed to the nearby shed, the woodshed where Mary Southwick's life had ended. Crown Hill, Meg is near. Mary's excitement drew me immediately to her. Yes, I am aware. But what will you do if she enters the shed? I'm not sure. It would be possible to materialize in the human form in which I last existed there. That way she could witness the end of my life. See me in that state might help her to understand my plight and my inability to pass, my need for her help. It might also frighten her away, dear one. I know you are impatient for this chance to draw close to Meg, but you need to find a middle ground between your intense desire and her ability to manage such connection. I hear you and respect your wisdom, dear friend. Yet perhaps it would be better to allow my spirit to be present within the shed in a more gentle way. Simply be so that Meg will be aware of my being and all that transpired there. Watching Meg move cautiously toward the shed while listening to Mary's words brought clarity to the situation. The only way in which Meg could help Mary was if she felt connected to her, comfortable with her spirit. I believe your instinct is true, Mary. Allow Meg to enter into the shed and experience your spirit, not in the form of the woman who was found hanging, but rather as women of shared heart. You both have endured anger and anguish at the hands of loved ones in your lives. That is the place where you can meet and join without fear. Hopefully, that is the reasoning that will encourage Meg to push away any misgivings she might have and help you. As I finished my words, Meg approached the shed and lifted the tarnished latch on the aged wooden door. Stepping back to allow the door to swing open, she became overwhelmed by a surge of hot summer air escaping the outbuilding. The intensity of that heat caused Meg to step back and gulp for breath. I watched as she regained her balance and again stepped forward to peer inside. The contrast between bright exterior and the dark, windowless interior made the shed appear like an endless black hole. As Meg took tentative steps past the door, I searched for Mary. Was she within the shed? Would she appear? Was she going to frighten Meg or bond with her? I tried with all the care in my heart to reach out to Mary and encourage her gentle nature. Please, sweet Mary, do what is best. Proceed with care. Response to my encouragement became immediately evident as Meg stumbled backwards out of the shed, shrieking in cries that petrified the summer air. What do you think? Did Mary scare her? Did Mary do the wrong thing in the shed? She made her go there. She told Crown Hill that she would do anything she could to make Meg aware of her, invading her dreams, right? Which Meg has had this dream and she can't figure out what it is. And we'll learn more about that later. Bringing the scent of roses around her and directing her when she can. Clearly, she directed her to go to the shed, and it doesn't sound like it was good if Meg backs out screaming. I hope you can sleep tonight. So thank you for joining me tonight. We're here tomorrow every night at 7:30 through the end of April to finish this book. Also, please feel free to share these notices with people and let them know. And if people have not read the other parts of Crown Hill leading up to where we are currently, I've created a YouTube page, and I will post that online, where if anyone wants to read any of them from day one, they are all there, and each day I will post. Tonight I'll go and post tonight's as well. So if people want to join in towards the end and they find out that we're here and they haven't known before, so encourage your friends, your family, anybody who might want to binge some Crown Hill, they can do that now, and then join us every night at 7:30. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and that tomorrow's a good day. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 7:30 as we go on to Meg Book 3, Chapter 9. Good night.